Hello, today we are going through the first part of the Aldenham 2015 maths paper. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so here for our very first question, we have a very nice and easy one. Write the number 14,036 in figures. So here it's a very easy question. The main thing is not making any silly mistakes. So we have to make sure we read the question very carefully. 14,036. So we start with the 14,000. We use the comma to show the thousand. And then we have 36. So 0, 3, 6. No hundreds, 3 tens, 6 units. Very simple. 14,036. Let's move on to the next question. Next, we have a fill in the gaps question. So part A, let's start there. We have blank plus 15 equals 43. So how do we work this out? Well, we simply rearrange the equation. Right? If we have blank plus 15 equals 43, we want to end up with blank equals and then our number, right? We don't want blank plus or minus anything. We want blank on its own on one side of the equation and then a number on the other side of the equation. So how do we get to this position? Well, we have to rearrange this. And how do we rearrange it? Well, we have the left-hand side and we have the right-hand side. We're trying to remove this plus 15. And we can remove the plus 15 by minusing 15. So we minus 15 from both sides of the equation, because whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So here, on our left-hand side, let's make some more space. On our left-hand side, we have something plus 15 minus 15. These two cancel out. So we have that thing we're looking for, the gap. And then on the right-hand side, we have 43 minus 15. Now, we can just simply work this out using mental maths. We know 43 minus 15 is the same thing as 43 minus 10 minus 5. And we can do that in our head. 43 minus 10 is 33. 33 minus 5 is 28. So we have 28. So our gap is 28. So now moving on to part B, we have 6 multiplied by something, our gap, equals 54. So how do we work this out? Same exact thing. We have left-hand side, we have right-hand side, and we want to end up with this squiggly thing on its own. We want to know what this is. And this squiggly thing could be X, it could be A, it could be anything. So this could be algebra as well. So same thing here. We're trying to reverse or remove this multiplication by 6. And how do we do that? We do that by doing the opposite. We divide by 6. And whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side of the equation. So we divide both sides by 6, create some more space. On the left-hand side, these two cancel. So we're left with our squiggly line. On the right-hand side, we have 54 divided by 6, which is 9. So here our gap is 9, and we should be getting the hang of this now. Now for part C, we have squiggly line, or I'm just going to call it X now, minus 23 equals 57. Here we can skip the steps. We know what's going on. We're going to add 23 to both sides. So X equals 57 plus 23. So that's going to be 57 plus 20, which is 77, and then 77 plus the remaining 3, which is 80. So X is 80. And you can see how we're using mental maths, because if you can get good at mental maths, you become so much more efficient. We could have worked this out the normal column type addition way, and this would work. 7 plus 3, 10, so 0, carry the 1. 5 plus 2, 7, add the 1, 8. So the same answer of 80, but if you can get good at mental maths, it will help you be more efficient in your 11 plus maths exam. So either way, our answer is 80. And now for our final question, we have 64 divided by something equals 8. Now here, without even using any extra workings out, if you're good with your times tables, you know straight away the answer has to be 8. Because we know 8 times 8, 8 squared is 64. So that means the reverse, 64 divided by 8, should be 8. So the answer is 8. So now for our next question, we have the Palladium can hold 2,175 spectators. If 305 of the seats are empty, how many of the seats are taken? So this is going to be a simple subtraction. So if we think about it, we have this huge hall and we have 2,175 spaces. Of those 2,175 spaces, 305 are empty. And if 305 are empty, that must mean the rest are taken. So all we do is take this 2,175 and we subtract 305. So it's a very simple question. It's just understanding the maths behind the question. And once you do that, you should be fine, because here we have 5 minus 5, which is 0. Then we have 7 minus 0, which is 7. Then we have 1 minus 3, which we can't do, so we borrow a 10 from the 2, make it 11 minus 3, 8. And then we have the 1 minus 0, so 1. So we have our answer is 1,870. So 1,870 seats are taken. 1,870. So here for our next question, we have a bottle of fizzy pop holds 750 milliliters. How many 150 milliliter glasses can be filled from this bottle? So here we have a division question. We must take the 750 milliliters and divide that by 150 to see how many 150s go into 750. Now, this has already been made pretty easy for us because both of these values are in milliliters. They have the same unit. So now it's a simple division. And we can take out the common factor of 10. So we remove the zeros, right? And then also on this vertical line, we can take out the common factor of 5 because 5 goes into 15 3 times, right? 5 times 3 equals 15. So 5 goes into 15 3 times. And 5 also goes into 75. How many times? Well, if you think about it, 1 carry the 2, 5. So it's going to be 15 times. And then if we switch to a different color, we have the common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 once and into 15 5 times. So we have 5 over 1 or 5. So the answer is 5 glasses. So here for this question, we have to be very careful to make sure that we put everything into the same units. So Katie's mom gives her £10, right? She spends £1.90. So let's first note down the £10. She spends £1.90 on magazines. So we're taking away £1.90 from that £10. She spends also £2.45 on a birthday card, taking away £2.45. And then also she spends 75p on chocolate. So taking away 0.75 pounds, right? 75p is 0.75 pounds. How much money does she have left? So we can do this with simple column subtraction. So let's start off with the £1.90. So we have £10 minus £1.90. We could do it like this. So 0 minus 0, 0. 0 minus 9 we can't do. So we take a 10 from the 1, take a 10 from this 0, 10 minus 9 being 1, and then 9 minus 1 being 8. £8.10. Or we could use mental maths, because if we're doing £10 minus £1.90, what's £1.90 very close to? It's very close to £2, right? It's almost £2. And we know pretty easily what £10 minus £2 is, right? It should be £8. But since we're not subtracting £2, but instead we're subtracting the lower amount of £1.90, we have to add back that 10 pence. So you would have £8, but instead we have £8 plus the remaining 10 pence, which is £8.10. Okay, so let's clear all this up. We know we're starting with £8.10. And once we have £8.10, we're now subtracting £2.45. Let's try and use our mental maths here. So £8.10, we're subtracting now £2.45 that she spent on a birthday card. Here, what's £2.45 very close to it? It's very close to £2.50. So we can do £8.10 minus £2.50. Well, £8.10 minus 2 whole pounds is going to be £6.10. But then minus the remaining 50 pence, and we're going to get not £6.10, but £5.60. £5.60. Right? We got £6.10 and we take away an extra 50 pence from the amount. So £5.60. And then we realize that we're not actually subtracting £2.50, but we're subtracting £2.45. So we add back that 5 pence. So here, we don't remain with £5.60, but we actually remain with £5.65. So £5.65 is our next value. And then, finally, we take off the 75 pence. So again, one last time, let's clear up our space. We have £5.65. And we're taking away 75 pence, 0.75. Here again, we can use mental maths. Why? Because this time we know that 75 pence is actually rather conveniently a combination of 65 pence and 10 pence. So if I change color here, we can see that we can start by taking away the 65 pence from £5.65, leaving us with £5. And then we can take off the remaining 10p, giving us £4.90. So how much money does she have left overall? The answer should be £4.90. So now here for question 6, part A says, what is 14 times 100? So here we know it, just be very careful. Add the 2 zeros, giving us 1,400. Then we have 864 divided by 100. So we have 864.0, same thing as 864. And we divide by 100. Just think about it as doing 2 bunny hops back, right? We're dividing by 100. So since we have 2 zeros, we're doing 2 bunny hops back. So it goes from the decimal point being here to the decimal point being here. So now we have 8.64. So that's our answer, 8.64. And then we have something times 300 equals 60. So we did a kind of question like this already. What do? We rearrange the equation. And we want to get this thing on its own. So we divide both sides by 300. So left-hand side, divide by 300. This should cancel. Right-hand side, we have 60 over 300. This is a very nice fraction here. So here we can take out some common factors, right? We simplify this by taking out common factors, numbers that go into both the numerator and the denominator. So take out the common factor of 10, very easy one to take out. We have 6 over 30. And then we can take out the common factor of 6. And here your times tables will always help you out. So 6 goes into 6, let's switch color, once. And 6 goes into 30 5 times. 6 times 5 is 30. So we have 1 over 5. So our question mark, our answer, is a fifth, 1 over 5. Okay, so that is all for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know when the next video is released. And on that note, I will see you all next time.